I am Garima, secured All India Rank 2 this year. I am a BCom graduate from Kyori College, University of Delhi. I graduated in 2020 and then I started to prepare for the examination. I took my first prelims in 2021 and I failed the prelims. Then I sat for the second attempt in 2022 and I got through the prelims, mains and the interview. I hope you people have seen my mark sheet. If not, I'll just briefly go through. I got 187 in the interview, 131 in the essay paper, and I got a 131 in GS paper 2 and a 141 in the ethics paper. Okay, so let's start with the basic preparation. I am sure you people are aware of the different stages of the examination, the prelims, the mains and the interview. Let's first start with the prelims, then we can go about with the mains. Does that work? Okay, so for the prelims, we have two papers, GS paper 1 and GS paper 2, which is the CSAT paper. GS paper 1, you people have been reading a lot, I am sure, but we'll also today focus on the CSAT paper, which is the reason why I could not qualify in my first attempt. And so let's talk about paper 1. So I'll just go through my basic book list, which I used, and it can be I am sure you people have known the resources because it's very common. Everyone goes through it. But I'll just say it on my own so that you have a commitment towards that you have to go through those books. So starting first is polity. I did the basic Lakshmikant book for polity. So when you start preparing polity, if you first pick up Lakshmikant and you find difficulty in reading the book, only then go about doing NCERTs. Many a time people say that it's a norm to go through the NCERTs of 6 to 12, but I'll say just save your time and depending on your strength and weakness, analyze. Some of you might have gone through these subjects at your +2 level in your graduation. Do not pick up 6th, 7th NCERTs then and try to waste your time. Only if you have not gone through those subjects, it has been a long lost time since you have got in touch with those subjects, try to go through them again. Otherwise, it's okay. Lakshmikant has to be done cover to cover and has to be done very enthusiastically. Note making for books like these, I would not suggest because it's a book in which every line becomes important. If you look at the format in which the book is written, and if you people have the Lakshmikant, you'll see if you turn the chapter, when the chapter gets over, there's a yellow colored box in the end, which has certain notes and references given back to the chapter. It talks about certain constitutional amendments that have introduced it or has some clarifications. Only once go through this, once when you're reading the chapter, highlight whatever is important or just take a sticky note, write it, go back and write it in the main chapter itself so that you don't have to go through it again. But do it once because some facts become very important from that also. And then keep revising Lakshmikant as many times as you can because it is the holy grail for your prelims. Okay, and the Lakshmikant also in the end has certain portion of analysis for mains which we ignore that when mains will come we will read, we will not read it now. Trust me, it does not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. Please do give it a read even while you are preparing for pre because when you come through the main stage you will not find a lot of time to go through the basic books again and at that point of time your passive memory will recollect. So just go through it once and a better understanding, so a better integrated approach of both prelims and mains helps you also in your prelims. And if you look at the paper today of prelims, you will realize that analytical portion becomes very important. Your applied knowledge becomes important, not just what you learn, the basic facts. So go through that. The second would be economics. So polity constitutes about 18 questions, which is a huge margin, and the second would be economics. For prelims especially, I did not revise the last two pillars, the pillar 5 infrastructure and the HRD portion. If you have time, I would definitely suggest you go through it, but because I found it very difficult to go through the entire pages, so I just went through the first 4 pillars and do it very religiously and also do the updates of that because I think that is more than enough. But if you are a beginner in economics and you still find it very difficult, then you can go through the 11th and 12th micro and macroeconomics NCERTs. Otherwise, those notes are more than sufficient. Okay, the third subject would be, I think, environment. So there are a lot of sources in the market again in environment. In my first attempt, I did refer some other books, or otherwise if you're taking coaching and if you have some classroom notes, I would say stick to that notes and only keep adding on to those notes. Do not go for multiple sources. This is one thing that you will keep hearing from day one. Even when I heard toppers saying do not see multiple sources, so I always felt, why do not see multiple sources? I will cover this also, that also. Trust me, it becomes very difficult to revise everything, and if you have not revised anything multiple times, it becomes very difficult to recollect. It's as good as you have not read it once. So do not do that mistake. This is for environment. For geography, so I was a person not very strong at geography. I found it very difficult reading geography. So if you see in geography in prelims, there are hardly 5 to 6 questions that come. Do not waste a lot of time. If you are one person who is not very comfortable with geography, do not waste a lot of time doing geography. You can invest that time in doing polity or economics or even CSAT, but not geography. And if you are comfortable doing geography, you can do whatever notes you do, but the NCERTs in geography are a must. Do it line by line, it's very important, and the mapping along with it becomes very important. So apart from the river drainage, Indian rivers, they are the most important mapping. If you have seen in the last 3 years, a lot of questions have been coming from that. Even the smaller, the lesser known rivers, like let's say Subarna Rekha or Brahmani, these rivers have also become very important. So do the river drainage portion on your own. Check out any random YouTube videos which will help you go through the course, everything about it. But just go through the river drainage part very enthusiastically, very correctly. Then apart from it, I think the next subject would be science and tech. So in my first attempt, I did not do science and tech because I thought I am a student who belongs to commerce background. I have lost touch of science ever since 10th standard. I don't even remember what is the formula of force, acceleration, anything. So I thought I will not do it. But it was a mistake. If you look at the number of questions from science, it's around 10 to 12. And it can be easily solved. The science questions which are coming are all applied, practical, and it is not someone that only a science background student is able to do. Trust me, if I have been able to do science questions, you can easily do it. So don't underestimate yourself in science and make sure you do them. So the science portion can be divided into 2 parts. The first portion is the biotechnology and the health and diseases portion. For that, I referred a book, but this is a complete disclaimer. I did not go through the book cover to cover. I only did 60 pages from that book. It's a 500-page thick book. It's Essentia. It's from Unique Publications. I think it's a black-colored book. So it is more than 500 pages, but only the biotech portion you have to do, only 60 pages out of it. It covers basics about what is a cell, what are the functions a cell performs, cell organelle, and then the applied portions, the 3-parent baby, pro-nuclear transfer, bioink, 3D printing, these topics which have been repeatedly asked is covered in the book in notes and notes format. So it's very easy to go through that and understand that. So you can do those 60 pages, but if you have notes for biotechnology and you think you are able to solve the questions which have been coming in the prelims, then you can stick to your basic notes only. But if you do not have a source for it, then you can look up to this book. The book also has a portion on health and diseases. So it talks about the different diseases. Is it a bacterial disease, a viral disease? And I think these questions have been repeatedly been asked. And apart from this, what test is conducted? Does it have a vaccine? What type of a vaccine is it? What are the different deficiency diseases? These topics are also covered in that. It can be done from there only. And then for the other part, which is the quantum technology part, you can pick up any annual compilation in the market, any annual compilation that covers all of these science and tech portion. And do not focus on the basic words and details, but rather the concept. What is quantum technology? What are the words associated with it? Superposition, quantum entanglement. These words are to be understood in simple language. We do not have to be a scientist here. Even I found it very difficult. But just understand it in basic words, that if a question is asked, you are able to answer it. And understand it in very simple words and not just the lines of it that chalo usko rat lete and then let's see, we'll solve it. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to understand it. For that, you can use animated videos online. For biotech, the videos of TED-Ed on YouTube, they are very nice. If you look up a video of TED-Ed on CAR T-cell therapy, you will be able to understand it in 3 minutes. So those videos you can use. Those videos will remain in your permanent memory. I think the next would be history. So for history, ancient history, I did the R.S. Sharma book and I made notes out of it. So for books like Lakshmikant, Environment and Economics, I did not make notes because those subjects contribute around 18 questions each. So I wanted to go through them again and again on my own. But for books like ancient history, which I had a little lower interest in studying, and so I did make notes out of it. So on A4 sheets, you can make notes. Let's say Indus Valley Civilization, write everything down in 2 pages, and whatever you get from other previous year questions, etc., you add it in those notes only. Medieval history, I could not do. I did not do medieval history in my first or in my second attempt. I did not get the time to. But I've seen my other friends, they've done Satish Chandra, and you can also do any compilation in the market. So my mindset was that it is hardly 5 to 6 questions, chalo dekh lenge, but if you have time, please do. Please go through it. And for modern history, I did Spectrum, what everyone does. I did it cover to cover. I think till the chapter on working class movement has to be done for prelims. And I try to learn every fact. The dates have also become important. In fact, if you see the Quit India movement, the date of that, today boycott resolution, the date of that. So if you read it very, making a chronology of it, you will be able to remember and actively recall. I think, is there any other subject for prelims which is left? Current affairs, right? Okay, so current affairs. This is a misnomer that we keep on giving so much focus on current affairs. This is one mistake I did in my first attempt. I gave at least 6 hours a day to current affairs, and it is not worth it. Give as much time as you can to your static. Make your static very strong. Polity, economics, environment, science, make it very strong. And even if on the worst day you have a very random paper from all the random current affairs, you will be still able to get through the paper. Only on the basis of your static. So your first priority should be that my static becomes very strong. Only then, whatever remaining time I get, maybe 2 hours in the day, I'll give it to current affair. Don't become a current affair material collector in the market. If you go through, and this was a blessing that I did not stay in ORN, I did not stay in Karol Bagh, because otherwise I would also have left, been living in that FOMO. Oh, acha ye material nahi kiya, acha this new material came in the market, ye bhi acha, ye bhi le lete. No. So I never could see all these materials, and that is why I never referred to it. So I think it's good to turn a blind eye and just walk straight on that road, not see here, not see there, don't see any material, and trust on your own material, trust on whatever coaching you have taken, on whatever basic sources you are referring, and not become a material collector. You will never be able to revise all of them, and it's useless. So don't do it, just do one material, whatever you are doing. Achha, many people, what they do in the first attempt, let's say they took an attempt and they referred to a coaching material or any compilation, and questions did not come from that. They'll change it next year. It's a luck. Nobody knows which material, and it's not that UPSC picks up questions from any material. You need to trust your source and just stick to one source, whatever font or thing you're comfortable doing, you can do that. Then let's come to CSAT. CSAT had been a nightmare for me in my first attempt, so everyone told me it's just 66 marks, it's just 30-35 questions and you will be able to do it. So what I did, I just picked up 3 previous year questions, I solved them, I got 78-80 in the tests, and I went on to give my CSAT paper. I got 65, but I failed. I failed in the CSAT paper, and it was very difficult for me. I think I attempted 5 questions, reasoning and maths included. That's it. And I think 2 out of them would have been correct. I was this weak in mathematics and reasoning because I had lost touch of all of those subjects. So I devoted a lot of time in CSAT next year, and this year I got some 79 point something. Not a very good score, but I got saved. So what I did for CSAT is that divide it into 2 parts, reasoning and maths and reading comprehension. Now reading comprehension has been my strong point. Even this year I attempted 32-33 questions of reading and none of them were wrong. Reading comprehension, do it only when you're very confident, otherwise till the last day when your prelims results are not out, you will be in a dilemma whether you have cleared your prelims or not. If you're good in maths and reasoning, even then, if you have been a very nice engineer, IIT, IIM, please practice. Just practice 5 or 6 papers. I have seen my friends who are very good in maths, exceptionally good, still they have managed to get 80, 90, and they have that constant stress. Practice CSAT. It also makes you very it also refreshes you during the day. You have been reading ancient history and modern history, and then you go back and do some mathematics. It refreshes you. So do that. Practice CSAT every day, I would say. Divide it into reasoning, maths, and the reading comprehension portion. And you do not need to pick up very difficult parts. For those people who did not have maths, you do not need to pick up permutation, combination, or mensuration. The chapters you have not done, don't do it now. Do chapters like ratio, proportion, percentage, age. These are very easy to do. You find it difficult only because you have the initial inertia to not do it. Once you start doing it, you get very interested in doing that. And the reasoning is very, very interesting. It's very interesting. You do all of those blood relations, syllogisms, and for that, you can also refer to YouTube videos. All of those competition videos that come, they teach you some tricks to solve it in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can go through them also. And in reading comprehension, the most important thing is PYQ. And in fact, in the entire prelims, the most important thing is PYQ. Again, in my first attempt, I did not have the time to do PYQ, but in my second attempt, I did PYQ. I made PYQ a separate subject, and I did it so extensively.